So as we know, it's a really busy time of the year for Celtic, both in matches and in transfers as well. We've already given our thoughts, late last month and earlier this month in terms of the players we want to come in. We'll do a wee kind of historical look back now at some of not our best January signings, because there's probably some that are quite obvious. But we're going to look back at, some of the most underrated January signings that we've made. We'll consign it to the 21st century. I know your memory goes back further than that.
Old.
But I don't at all. I have no memory of Celtic in the 90s. Do you, by the way?
Yes, and it was as bad as people say.
Right, we'll keep it to 21st century anyway. Underrated January signings. Who springs to your mind, first of all?
Well, this is going to sound a bit weird, but I think Leigh Griffiths is a bit underrated when you think about it.
I agree. He's on my list.
I mean, we signed him, but was it January 2014? It was, because I remember his first game was when we played Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup.
It was Neil Lennon's final signing of his first tenure.
It only cost like £1 million, I think, for Wolves. And you would have to say that apart from under Ronnie's management, he's not really been the first choice striker. And he's scored 100 goals. More than 100 goals for us. I mean, that's a brilliant record. There's not been a Celtic striker that has scored 100 goals
since John
Hartson, apart from Griffiths. I mean, Commons, I think, got like 80 or 90 or something. He was quite near. But I mean, if you think about it, he's maybe, the last couple of years has been like a struggle for like various reasons we'll not go into. But I mean, even if you look at the goal he scored against Partick, he's still got that attacking instinct.
Yeah.
And he's scored over 100 goals. And just for £1 million, that's a good signing. And I think he is genuinely underrated, especially when as I said, when Brendan came in, it was Mustin Bailey was the first choice. Since then, it was Edward, and since Lennon's been a manager, for other reasons, he's not really been involved, it's been Edward. But I mean, I think for that money, and when you think about how he has sort of never been the first choice apart from 2 seasons, I think he's underrated, and I think he'll probably go down as one of Celtic's best, I don't know best players, but best strikers, I'd say, the last 10 years.
I think he'll be remembered fondly. I think a lot of that will be to do with what happens from now. I mean, I think if he was to fade out and leave at the end of the season with a big cloud of smoke, I think that a lot of folk would probably not remember him as fondly as he probably should be remembered. No. But equally, if he gets back and even if he's not going to be a number one striker, which I don't think he ever will be again, but if he scores goals here and there, folk will have a very good memory. Even if you think about it,
I mean, just a tangent. I know that he's always people say he's only a goal scorer, doesn't do anything else. But I remember that when we played Rangers in Brendan's first season, we won the treble. The League Cup, the Betfred Cup semi-final against Rangers, we'd missed a load of sitters. I think people were a bit concerned it was going to go extra time. Then he comes on. Oh no, did he start? Or he played a big role in the goal anyway. He set up, he took it down and he set it up for Dembele. He scored a brilliant pass. That's the sort of thing that you wouldn't expect a player like him to do. And when you think about £1 million, over 100 goals, 40 goals in one season. I know that's
goals in the Europa League. He scored in the Champions League. He scored a lot of big goals.
He scored big goals. Scored
Derby games. Yeah,
I think he's underrated and a good. Probably one of Lennon's best signings, I'd say, in January, because he's not made that many brilliant ones.
Right, he's on the list. Yep. I think he'll make the final 5. Barry Robson for me. I don't know exactly what year that was.
2009.
I want to say
8.
Barcelona goal aside, obviously scored with his first touch at Pittodrie. Folk kind of seem to forget that a little bit, but for me, in terms of winning that 3 in a row title, the title for Tommy Burns, I think he had a massive say in that. People always look back to that challenge with Christian Daly at the start of the Derby match.
A harsh but fair challenge, I'd say.
He took the ball, didn't he? He had eyes for the ball at least. Exactly. And he obviously scores a penalty in the game following game. So massive say in that season, and what we got him for, I think that was a nominal fee for Dundee United, and what he went on to do. And I was gutted when Tony Mowbray let him go that January as well in Middlesbrough.
I think he'd not played that often though this season later. He sort of lost his place.
No, I mean I get that, but even just for that 6 months, for what we paid for him in that 6 months for Barry Robson, for me he's got to be in that list as well.
I absolutely forgot about him, so good shout, Hamish.
That's why I'm here. Underrated signings. Another player for Dundee United, Stuart Armstrong. Thoughts?
I don't know if I'd say underrated.
We did make a massive profit on him.
No, because everybody loved him and he was brilliant the year we won the treble. the invincible treble. I mean, of course, because we've won 3 trebles in a row. He scored 17 goals that season. Was justifiably named one of the players of the year nominated. No, I'd say he wasn't underrated, and we sold him for 7 million, which probably is on the low side when you think about it now. I mean, now I'd been hoping for like.
I think it was last year his contract, wasn't it?
We had to really and you knew he was going to leave when he signed that 1 year extension. The year after we won the invincible treble. I'd say he's not underrated, but he was a good signing. I'd say somebody like Scott Bain fits the criteria as underrated. I'd say because when you think about it, a journeyman goalkeeper who fell out with Neil McCann at Dundee, went to Hibs, didn't even play. We sort of signed him. I think it was part of the Jack Henry deal, sort of type of thing. His first game was against Rangers at Ibrox, and he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he helped us win that game. Basically,
he
won the league
did
that season.
Arrive in for me the worst month in Celtic transfer history. I think it was January 2018. We brought in Scott Bain. Fair enough. We brought in Marvin Comper. Less said about that. We brought in Jack Hendry again. Less said about that. Charlie Masonda arrived that month as well. Lewis Morgan arrived. Or he was signed that month. That was a pretty diabolical month.
It
but anyway,
was, but I think Scott Bain has been underrated. And
I'll write his name down, John.
When we went on, I know he sort of made that mistake at the start of the season against Cluj, but I mean, when he won his place in the team like after this time last year, like he only conceded something like 3 goals in 20 games. Unbelievable. So when we signed him for nothing. He'll always, and he hadn't won any trophies before he came to Celtic. I know when the first thing he won was the League Cup when we beat Aberdeen in the final. So I mean, we signed him for nothing. He played a part in the big win at Ibrox, and he's won a treble with Celtic. So to me, that's underrated.
Compelling case. Chris Commons was signed in January 2011. Does he fit into the underrated bracket?
Well, for the price we paid for him, 300,000, yes. But as a player, I'd say no, because last season aside, he was an absolutely brilliant player for us, and I think people forget because he's a media guy now, and he doesn't always talk us up as much as he should.
Just call it out for what it is. He talks bullshit in the media.
He's crap, basically. He was a brilliant player for us, especially in Lennon's first season, and like under Ronnie as well. He was a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of. I don't know, that his first season was brilliant. His second season he sort of fell away. But then after that, especially under Ronnie, which I know people sort of forget about because it was pretty ropey. Pretty dial even. Sorry about that. No, he was a brilliant player for us, and he scored loads of big goals. I know it drove everybody mad how he used to take pot shots all the time.
I hated him as a footballer.
But you can't say he wasn't a good player for us.
He scored goals, that was it. He never did it for me. Never did it for me. There was a year when him and Virgil van Dijk were going for the player of the year, and everyone's saying, "Oh, it's got to be Chris Commons." Yeah, good shout. How's Chris Commons? He playing with Liverpool at the moment. Nonsense. Like Virgil van Dijk was always.
Chris Commons has already had a career in England. Virgil was just really at the start of his career.
Exactly, and Virgil van Dijk still for me outshone him, but somehow because Chris Commons scored goals, folk wanted to give it to him. But I just didn't like him, and I don't like him now as a pundit. So I
don't like him as a pundit, but I thought he was a brilliant player for us.
Right, fair enough. I've got Mikael Lustig. I think this fits right in. Folk, he's a weird one, Lustig, because we signed him from Rosenborg, free transfer. It was. I knew he played with Rosenborg, but I couldn't. If someone had asked me, who did you sign Lustig from? I couldn't even remember the club signing him, who they signed him from. I think he went on to become a massive player from us, but that only happened after a few years. And for me, the fact I think he's 7.5 seasons, played at the club, the amount of trophies he won, the impact he had latterly in his Celtic career, he's got to be in the list.
No, I would agree. I mean, as we were hoping for nothing. And he was, until he sort of started to sort of just age, basically. Wore him down, he played too many games. But he was incredibly consistent for years. When you think about it, every manager played him that we had. So I'd say he counts as underrated.
Tom Rogic? Central Coast Mariners, January 2013.
For the price, yes, because I think he was a sort of cheap buy as well. I don't know, because he verges between utterly fantastic and not really doing much. But when he is on his game, he's just unbelievable.
Mark Wilson, 2006.
I was too many injuries, maybe. But he was a good player.
He's another Dundee. There's a trick here. Dundee United
What about
players.
Gary McKennie-Stephen? Does he count? Because he's another.
He's another one. Aye.
Right, so I've got one more player.
We'll just go for. We'll just pick a number one. How about that?
Okay. Well, I would say out of the ones we discussed, I think it would probably have to be Michael Lustig. What do you think?
I think there's a compelling case for Leigh Griffiths there.
Maybe.
I also think there's a big case for Barry Robson. I really do. The impact. I've never seen a guy transform a team on his own. And Barry Robson was never the most talented player, but what he brought to the team when he arrived in those derby matches and in the other matches, scoring against Barcelona, he was a massive.
I would say the
massive
same
signing.
about Chris. Lots of goals, comments as well. So how are we going to decide? Are we going to close your eyes and put the pen on a name?
Aye. Right. My vote's going for Leigh Griffiths.
Okay, well, I'll go for Griffiths as well. I suppose because I did bring him up in the first place and talk about him.
He scored over 100 goals. He cost us not a great deal, as you said, and probably in terms of being underrated. I think to a certain extent he is still undervalued by the Celtic support.
Yep.
I think a lot of that comes from being understudy to the likes of Dembele and Edouard.
Aye.
People forget are, the two best strikers we've probably had since Henrik Larsson, and Griffiths has played understudy to them. And when he's filled in, he's done a job in the main, and hopefully he's still got a few more goals in him.
Yep, here's home.
Right, great, thanks very much. Hopefully you agree with us. Chances are you probably disagree with a lot of what we've had to say. Let us know in the comments below whether you think we're talking good stuff, whether you think we're talking crap. Anything is appreciated at all. If you've haven't subscribed yet to the channel and you want to do that would be appreciated. And if you want to tell a wee pal about it as well, that would also be appreciated. We'll be back early next week with some more content. Until then, take care and hail hail.